Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Wine
Wine
and Whispers. Today we're talking about safe spaces, right?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. Today we're talking about safe spaces. I thought I was wrong for a minute.
No.
Talking about safe spaces and where they transpire from. That's not the word that I want. Where they transcribe from. Not the word I want either. Where they come from. Yeah. How they manifest. Maybe that's the word that I wanted. I'm not sure. But maybe.
Yeah.
What were you going to say? I cut you off. My brain was thinking too fast.
It's okay. We can uncork
And unwine.
All right. So, where they come from, right? So, we are literally presently watching. Like, everything needs to have a title.
Mm-hmm.
Everything needs to have a definition. It needs to be defined. It needs to correlate with something.
It does.
So,
does this have something?
The newest thing that I've been seeing and hearing everywhere, right? Like, because we didn't have definitions to put to titles that just innately happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Organically happen, rather. So there's this discussion going all around about
around town.
The dynamics of the home with children between do you have a bedroom child, a living room child, and for all intent and purposes. I hope you catch that's how it's properly said.
I caught it.
The other parts of the community that the children feel safe in.
Mm-hmm.
And in this particular conversation, it would be your studio.
Which affects me too.
Right.
Yep.
Or whatever activities the kids are they in safe spaces with people that they know that they can be themselves, their true selves with, or comfortable to communicate and reach out to.
Girl.
Right?
It's definitely here at the studio. Cheese and bread.
So I did a little, we always gotta do a little deep dive, a little search, right?
Just smidge.
So the inters of nets.
What about the inters of nets?
They have defined it as living room kids versus bedroom kids.
Mm-hmm.
Trend. See, did I say now everything has to
everything's
have
a trend
definition? Describes two different ways families approach home life and how children spend their time.
Okay.
Living room kids, as defined, are those who primarily gather in the common areas of the house, like the living room, and spend time interacting with each other and family members.
Okay.
Bedroom kids, on the other hand, often retreat to their own rooms for activities like playing, watching TV, or even eating meals.
That's sad.
Yeah. And I would even go the extra mile of safe activity.
Okay.
Because
yes,
you're not going to limit it just to the studio.
No.
In terms of, do they feel safe in the environment that has been created by the adults that they're with?
To talk.
Right?
To talk.
They should always, for me, I didn't have my activities, but I definitely, I was the nerd.
I was a nerd.
Who had lunch with my vice principal or my dean. Oh. So I wouldn't go hang, me and my other girlfriend, we would, it started off as one day we just went there just to hang out, and it ended up being, every day we just get our food and go straight in there and hang out with them.
They let you?
They let us.
That would have never happened in my high school. They would have kicked us out. I love that.
Or we were, or we hung out in the social studies office with all the other instructors when they weren't teaching class.
We would have got kicked out. I love that you had that though.
Yeah.
But yes, that is a smidge.
We weren't doing work. We were hanging out.
You were hanging out with the adults.
We were hanging out with the adults.
That's a smidge nerdy. Just a smidge.
It is.
Still love you.
It is.
Okay, as long as you know.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. And it made me reflect, and it made me think.
Now, today?
Yes.
Okay.
What am I raising? Who am I raising? Right? And then it made me think,
I know what you're raising.
And then it made me even think even more. What are the pros and cons? Ooh, what was that?
A fuzzy.
The pros and cons to both.
No. There's no pro to a bedroom kid.
There are pros.
I don't think there's a pro.
They are.
Because you need to be able to socialize. And I feel, okay, tell me the pro.
There are pros and cons.
Tell me the pros and cons.
Okay. So.
Lies, I think that there are no pros.
No. So, let's go down define the concept behind a bedroom child, right?
Okay.
Bedroom children. These are children raised with a focus on privacy, independence, and personal space. They often play, study, and relax in their own room. An example of a bedroom child is a child that has fully decorated their room with toys, textbooks, and is encouraged to go play in their room.
I do that by myself, but I'm definitely not a bedroom child.
Okay. So
There's a mixture of both? Okay, go ahead.
The pros for bedroom children.
No, living room children. We just did bedroom.
I know. I'm staying on bedroom.
Oh, we're still on bedroom.
Yes.
Okay.
I want to segment it. So the pros for bedroom children. It encourages independence and self-soothing.
Okay. I love that.
It helps develop solo creativity and imagination.
Definitely need that.
It teaches respect for personal space.
None of my kids have that.
And can help reduce overstimulation in shared areas. Okay. Cons. And I'm going to go back to my kids. Cons, worry. May foster emotional distance. Less family bonding time.
Yep.
Can lead to isolation or tech overuse.
Definitely tech overuse. You're not there to see what they're doing.
Harder to monitor behavior or emotional cues.
Yep. You don't see them.
And it had me think. I have one that stays in the room more.
Okay.
And the other one that doesn't. But I'm wondering if age plays a difference in that too.
Definitely does. First off, I want you to know, in my brain, both of your kids are living room kids. Because the way they come up to me and they're here at the studio, they're not bedroom kids. They're living room kids. And the personal space thing don't exist. So
I would say for the older one, she's both.
I believe that. Definitely because of the age.
Because of the age.
Your little one is a bedroom, living room child. She was on top of me the other day, but she's not the only one. They all.
Yeah.
But it's because I'm their size.
My little one she's always been a Velcro kid.
Not a Velcro kid.
Yes. So, which now counters to the living room child, right?
Okay, tell me about the living room child.
These kids are raised to be fully immersed in the shared space of the home. They tend to be more present in the day-to-day family rhythm, often playing, learning, and hanging out in the living room or kitchen with parents or siblings. The pros. Encourages communication and openness. Builds strong family bonds and shared memories. Easier to monitor emotions, habits, and moods. Natural inclusion in chores, conversations, and learning environments. The cons. May lack independence
and personal space.
Quiet space. Less opportunity for self-reflection. Parents may feel overwhelmed by lack of adult-only space.
Lack of it. Okay.
Right? Oh, before I forget. So I mentioned community spaces, but the vehicle.
The vehicle.
That's a trick that I learned. You can hold space.
Absolutely.
Use the time that you have with your kids in the car.
That 20-minute drive.
Because they can't go anywhere. You can't go anywhere.
Y'all are stuck together.
So this is the time to have those hard conversations, the fun conversations, the whatever conversations.
Whatever you need.
And that gives them a space of like, okay. Almost like you know how some people have those family meetings with no judgment?
We listen and we don't judge.
And that's what I've turned my car rides to.
We listen and we don't judge?
Yeah, we don't say it out loud, but yeah.
But it's that moment.
Yeah, it's that moment where I sit, and as much as I want to say what I want to say, I don't say anything.
You're just quiet?
I sit quietly.
And so she just talks.
And then she the other day it happened, she's like, "You're not going to say anything?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not going to say anything."
She said that? Little girl, if you don't understand that you should just accept this gift that was given to you. Oh, I can't stand kids.
Because I'm trying to break generational cycles.
I love that for you. You're going to do it.
Yeah. Where the kids can actually feel like they're being heard. This is the opportunity right here.
That car ride. Right. That 20-minute car ride. Even though she looked a gift horse in the mouth and almost spat in it. Cheese and bread.
So those are the pros and cons. What household? Bring it back. Given those definitions,
okay.
Given the pros and cons,
okay.
What household? What child were you, and did your household look like growing up? Like, was it any of this?
It was.
Okay.
So
it was which one?
Both. There's a method to my madness.
Okay.
So when I was younger, I was definitely closer to my mom, and my mom, my brother, my grandfather. It was this household. It was a revolving door. So I was almost never in my room. I was in the kitchen. I was cooking with my father. Every Sunday we had omelet day.
Mm-hmm.
Because my father, my grandfather, I may have annoyed him, but I was definitely in the kitchen with my grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
In the living room, I was somewhere with somebody at all times,
Right.
unless I was in school.
Fair enough. Or an activity.
Or an activity, because I was definitely in every activity under the sun.
Okay.
So then as I got older, my mom and I had a falling out. So then we grew apart. So then I was never in my house. And if I was in my house, it was in my bedroom.
Got it.
So I lived both worlds. And then when I wasn't in my house, because I was out in the world, I was at my studio. So then studio became my safe space.
Okay.
I will say, as I'm growing up, looking back on it now, I probably missed the idea of not being able to be a living room kid throughout my teenager years, because so much happens in your house, right?
Yeah.
And you don't realize it's happening because you're stuck in your bedroom. Or for me, I wasn't home. When I tell you I left my house, I did it as an adult. I left my house at
whatever time for school.
I don't remember, but I was late. But whatever time for school, I didn't like going to school, so I was late. But there was also a reason, because I would leave my house, right, go to school. I would get on the bus and I would go to the studio. So then I would to the studio every day. So the kids here have it different. They don't come to the studio every day, right? I was at the studio every day, whether I was teaching, assisting, being taught, I was at the studio every day. And then even during the summertime, as I got older, I realized that I could be a teacher and an assistant during the summer camps. Then I really lived at the studio. I would walk to the studio every day.
Okay.
So I was at the studio every day. I would get home. Either my brother would pick me up or my dance teacher would drop me off. And I would get home. I'd go straight to my bedroom. But then probably around midnight, 11 o'clock.
Go look for some food.
I done snuck out my house. So yeah. So now I was gone. So then I probably wouldn't get back to my house till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I was that child. So then
What?
Don't do it to me. So then I woke up late, and that's why I was late for school, because I didn't go to sleep till 5 o'clock. I still had homework at some point.
You think you're grown? What is this on my lip? You know what? I know fuzzies.
I want you to know that I don't see anything.
I feel something tickling me.
I don't see anything. If that helps at all. Okay. So that was my household. Most of my days, that's what my days consist of when I was in high school. What was your household?
So our household was the household.
Everyone went to it.
Right? We were the first to have cable on the block. Yeah. We were the first to have cable on the block. I don't want to call him my stepdad, but he's my stepdad. My dad, he
said, we about to have all the shows.
We were the first to have cable. We were the first to have a computer. We had AOL.
Oh, AOL.
Yeah. In the morning, everyone who was going to the bus stop or whatever, everyone rounded at my house and we left from my house. And then at the end of the, summertime, what we doing? We're going to go to Denise and Ty's house. And our backyard, because we had like a little makeshift, I don't know how, it came with the house, but it had like a little makeshift, we called it the Little House. We used to like watching Little House in the Prairie.
Little House.
It was called the Little House. And so it was covered like a sunroom. There you go. And we would play in the backyard and have fun. And so, our driveway was the driveway where everyone parked their bikes. And in the summertime, my stepdad, he would
barbecue.
No, he would let us. We would get paid with Roy Rogers. Yeah, I brought a reel back because he let us wash his car. Right? We washed his car.
Y'all are funny.
That was the house. And then, we had a den in the basement. So, and in the summertime or whatever, like even when people came early for the school year, we would come we would go downstairs, watch videos for a little bit before we left to go to catch the bus. Or in the summertime, because it was, it was like one of those sectionals and everyone got to sit down and we watched TV because we had
cable. So are you saying
my house was lively?
But was this all years?
All years.
Okay.
Even into high school.
Everyone came to your house.
Our house was the house that everyone came to.
That's crazy. I love that for you.
If we were in our room, it was time to go to bed. We were living room kids.
You are
right, because we couldn't be in the formal living room now.
No.
You're gonna be in the formal
Yo,
living room.
the fact I remember those formal living still had the paper, the plastic covering on it.
Yeah.
Don't mess with the
My
formal.
mother never got a chance to put the plastic cover on her Italian antique looking furniture, but we knew not to go in there.
No, and then you spilled something on it. It was your ass.
Yeah. So my grandmother made makeshift. She was a seamstress, so she made makeshift, like whatever extra cloth that she had, fabric.
Mm-hmm.
She sized them
to the chair.
They were mismatched, but
Who
you
cares?
know,
To the chair.
But when company was coming over, you had to take that
them
off.
And it was fresh to death.
And nobody could be like, "Oh, they didn't put no plastic in it, still look this good." Because Grandma done put she made a special cover up for it.
I'm so done.
But and then the sectional downstairs in the basement was leather. It was a white leather, cream leather. I don't know who decided that idea, but it was a cream leather.
Why would y'all get leather in the basement? I mean, it was easy to clean.
Yeah. But it was great, and then they reclined.
The face that you just gave me,
because I'm just like imagining it. I just
easy. You made a face when I said easy to clean. What shenanigans were you doing in the basement?
Not me. I was the goody two shoes. I had a mouth, but I was the goody two shoes.
You know who I'm talking to.
I didn't say nothing.
You brought boys in the basement.
I didn't say anything.
It is easy to clean. Leather is easy to clean.
But yes, that was our house. That was the growing up. We barely.
You didn't go to your house was the house. Your house was the vibe house.
Yeah. And so it hurts me that my house isn't the vibe house now, but I also don't have a house. I'm still apartment living, but that's fine.
Different living, right?
Different living.
When you have a house, because you will in the next 5 to 10 years.
Speaker.
5 years. I'm going to say earlier, 5 years.
Yes.
You're going to have a house. And at that point, your big's going to be in high school. Your little's going to be in middle school. And everybody about to come to your house.
And I'm fine with that.
As long as you're okay with it.
Now, my husband, on the other hand.
No, he's going to want it.
He's a big sourpuss.
He's going to want it.
He doesn't want people.
He's going to want it. You know why? Because
I can control the atmosphere.
Correct.
And that's how I felt. Right? And it's something my mother always said. Oops, sorry. Something my mother always said that kind of resonated with me. It's like, I can control the environment knowing where you are.
Correct. Absolutely.
I can't guarantee what you're doing in such and such's house.
But in my house,
I can control it. And guess what? I'm a little old school. So if your friend Sally comes here and she's doing something she ain't not supposed to be doing, guess
Sally
what?
gotta
Sally's
go.
Mom, this is what's going on.
Let me tell you about Sally. So you know what? Your house, which I hope one day I aspire to this, right? Because it's a beautiful thing. Have you ever seen that 70s show? That 90s show?
The 70s show with the Ashton Kutcher?
They had a living room house.
Yes.
Because they all came to that house.
All the kids, yeah.
All the kids came to that house in their basement causing mischief. Kitty didn't know shit what was going on.
Nope.
But I'm going to be better than Kitty, and you will be better than Kitty.
Kitty was probably smoking with them.
Kitty was definitely smoking with them. Kitty was kittying, okay? Yeah. And Red just wanted to put his shoe up someone's ass, right? Which I can see Dre doing, actually, now that I sit here and think about it. But you will be better than Kitty because you will know what's going on in your basement, right? But that is the vibe that I think the houses
That's the vibe that I want to have.
Right, exactly.
And this is why I say...
Because you can control that environment. Except don't have no one living in the basement. I don't know how high I'd end up living there. Don't adopt no other kids.
Right. I say my eldest lives in between.
It's that age though.
Because
also COVID plays a part. I want you to know COVID definitely plays a part.
Well, no. They were younger.
Still plays a part.
A small smidgen.
Not you using my word.
A smidgen. Because there are moments where when she's upset with me. No, I can't even say when she's upset with me.
When she's upset in general.
When she's just in her moods. To get her to come out in the living room and join us, it requires food.
She sounds like a goblin.
It requires food or something she's interested in watching.
That's what trolls do. They come out for food.
Yeah.
You are not a troll, but don't have troll tendencies.
Like last night, she asked me to twist her hair. But it was under her terms.
Oh.
Because it was, can we watch Hamilton?
Yes.
I was like, okay, sure, fine. I've watched it 50 million times.
Let's watch it again.
To sit in the living room and me do your hair.
Yes.
And family time was fine. So you had my mother, my 2 girls, and me.
Wait, your mother watched Hamilton too?
Oh, yeah, she was in it. She was all in it. She goes, wait, is this when that happened? Is that when that would happen? Where's he from again?
I love that.
Yes, he's from the Caribbean.
Do you know? He's not. Yeah, he's from the Caribbean.
Yeah, he's from Nevins.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that Hamilton? Squirrel moment. Do you know that Aaron Burr, the original Aaron Burr, who I can't remember his name right now, it's escaping me.
Odom.
Lamar Odom. That's not his name.
Something Odom. Junior.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Lawrence. Mm-hmm. He's coming back to play Aaron Burr.
Really?
For 6 weeks.
Ooh.
We should try and find tickets. Ooh. Okay. Unsquirreled.
My child will disown me.
Why?
Because she would definitely want to go. I tried to look for tickets.
She can come too. Why is she come into all the things? I like her. No, you can't do that to her. I can do
adult things.
You can, but you can't do that to her because I understand being that theater kid. You went to go see and Odom Jr. was in there and I didn't go. Mom, that's disrespectful. You didn't take me. You don't want to hear that.
She's a bedroom kid. She didn't want to come out in the living room to find out.
Poor baby.
If you stayed out in the living room, you would have known. Facts. No, I'm just joking.
She's going to send it to you because it's on the internet. Anyway, on the internets. Back to the squirrel moment. Unsquirrel.
Yes. So I tried to, not even knowing it, like after learning about this thing,
okay,
I realized that the dynamics of each space is different. Bedroom is, I really don't want to be bothered. I want to have my personal space.
Mm-hmm.
Living room is like, oh yeah, my little one, she'll take her iPad. Like if I'm editing or working on something, whether it's in my bedroom or it's in the living room.
She wants to be with you.
No, she's sitting on top of me. So like, you see how this pillow's over here? Mm-hmm. She fits her way. She like jigsaw puzzles her way into the space to be right there. Or if I'm just laying down on my bed, she'll jigsaw puzzle her way in between Andre and I. To do that. Like the other night, Andre, he worked overnight.
Okay.
And I was home, and it was a Saturday. I'm not typically home on Saturday. And
she came quick.
She saw, he's not home, you're home, I'm sleeping in the bed with you. But she wanted to this is where I see the independence starting to take place. She slept head to foot. She usually sleeps head to head. So my head was the normal way. And she fixed herself, got her blanket, her own pillow, her everything.
And she slid down by your foot.
I'm like, you're going to sleep over there? She was like, yeah, I'm going to give you your space.
She did not say that.
She did.
She's getting bigger.
She said, I'm going to give you some space, but I want to sleep with you. My big one, it used to be a fight to get her out of my bed. Now, it's like, you want to join me in the bed? And I knew the day was going to come. So when I would let it, he was like, oh, my husband, and this is where I'm like,
even though
it's our bedroom, this is the living room, right? Concept.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was a time where he would work overnight.
And he was never home, so he would.
He was home, but he was home during the day sleeping,
right?
And
at night
he was at work,
right?
And they would sleep with me. He's like, "Oh, you created the habit."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "There's one day they're not going to sleep in the bed with me, and I'm going to miss it."
When did that day happen for her? The big one.
It happened this year. Over the summer, she was still sleeping. As a matter of fact, right when we were kickstarted this, remember I said with Spread Eagle?
Yes.
It happened then, and ever since then, the little one will come here and there.
But not the big.
Maybe
the big listened to the episode and realized that you enjoyed being Spread Eagle.
No, I think she's becoming a young lady. As much as I hate it and I don't want to accept it, she's becoming a young lady.
Ew. All right.
Which is why I try to make sure that the car
is her space.
It's her space to spew whatever she wants to spew and say whatever she wants to say. Even when I'm like, what the are y'all talking about in school?
Nonsense they shouldn't be talking about. And it's not just yours.
I know.
Oh my goodness. The studio has definitely become a safe space for quite a few of our dancers, right? And I do love that. I want the studio to be a safe space. The studio for me was a safe space growing up, where I definitely talked to all of my girlfriends, or I was talking to one of my teachers about something so-and-so, right? Safe space. That's where I could go and I could unwind. If I wanted to eat a whole pizza, I could, and no one would judge me. I didn't, but if I wanted to, I could, right?
Right.
I could never eat a whole pizza. The face she just gave me, like I really done did it.
No, I'm like, what? You would eat a whole pizza? Like, where does it go?
No, I did not.
I'm good after 2 slices.
Facts. I can do 3 if I'm like starving. Okay, anyway, so I want that same space and that same environment to be here at the studio.
And I think you have that. I think both you and your partner have created that because they linger, man. They linger, and this like, and then you should see it, like, you know, like I'm a
get out. That is me.
I'm a fly on the wall watching, like, and different days.
Get out.
Different days brings different energies.
Okay, I can accept that. Mm-hmm.
Because Thursday night versus Friday night are two different energies.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's because you have more of the mids here, the littles. Right? There's a group for hip hop. That's the littles.
On Friday.
Yeah, I think because when it comes to the mids, and when we say mids, exactly what you're hearing. It's like middle schoolers.
The middle age group,
right? The middle age groupers and the high schoolers.
Yes.
They think that their girlfriends and want to kiki with both of the both of you guys.
I gotta tell you something. Mm-hmm.
And then the littles, they're there. They want to tell you. It's only maybe one or two or three of them.
No, it's all of them
that want to tell you what's going on, but they don't linger the same way.
Yes, they do. They sit and they stare at us. Me and my partner could be sitting at the desk, minding our business. I'm gonna do it, Denise. You're gonna see my back for a minute. And I apologize in advance. This is what they do. You're sitting at the desk. Oh, I'm stepping on something.
Go ahead, show them that beautiful back.
I know. This is what they do.
They wait for you. Yeah.
Do you see what I'm doing? I'm staring.
Right, and they're waiting. Like you as the adult could be talking to somebody else, but they're staring and waiting for you to give that eye contact to be like, okay, I can talk.
Do you see how long she was talking? Literally is what they do. They just sit and they stare at us, okay? But no, first off, let me tell you how one of them told my partner, tell Miss Nikita Happy Mother's Day. She's like my third mother.
Not the third.
Yeah, because Miss Tiffany's the second. Yeah. I said what? I said no.
Well, technically, yes, I should. Happy Mother's Day. Happy belated Mother's Day. Being a mother figure comes in many facets, and that's exactly what you're doing. Don't give me that face. You're holding space in a maternal way.
The fact that she done said, and it's not the first time that she said this, right? But I've definitely been like, girl, go sit down. A few of them have said it, and I'm like, if y'all don't go sit,
but you know what the funny part is, and I didn't say this to you, but I'm going to say it to you now. Andre had asked the same thing too. He goes, "Well, she deserves a Happy Mother's Day too. She has a maternal figure with all these kids."
No, I'm cackling. He did not.
He thought you had kids, and I said, "No, she does not.
I do not have kids. You're not listening."
And then I said,
sir.
and then I said, but technically, she does have kids because she has all of our kids.
No, I do not have kids.
But he.
Well, thank you. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you. That was so nice of him, for him to think that way. God bless my soul. I don't have no kids. And
it was in your hoop.
And definitely these kids do treat me like their mom, a mom, or an auntie. For sure. I will take an auntie.
It's still a maternal figure.
I'll take an auntie vibe. Fine. Absolutely. But man, the way they come up here, they tell me their stories, the boyfriends, the problems with the school, the crushes. Well, Miss Nikita, so-and-so at school was talking in class. Now we all got detention. What is happening here? It's just all of it. So I love the studio as a safe space, but it's the lingering. Because they just sit and they stare at you.
Give yourself a pat on the back, though.
Why am I patting myself on the back?
Because that's a dynamic and age group where
they don't want to talk to nobody.
They don't want to talk to the adults. The adults are cringe. The adults are no, seriously, like
don't say cringe. They're not
cringe. No, seriously, they don't look at us like they're like you don't understand. So to have them come to you excitedly, wanting to talk to you, we're creating the spaces that makes them want to be there, even though they act like they don't, like they're too good. We are creating the spaces.
And that's what they need.
Yeah. They
do need it. Sometimes.
Yeah. But it definitely, when I first heard about it, it definitely had me in my feelings. Like, what am I doing? Am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong?
There's no right or wrong.
There is no right or wrong.
And every child is different, right? So it could be that you unknowingly are creating a living room child, or you're unknowingly creating a bedroom child. That doesn't mean that it's a detriment to them.
Right.
It's like you said, everyone has a pro and a con, right? I don't want a bedroom child. If I have a child, I don't think I want a bedroom child.
Yeah.
I would like a living room child because I grew up as a bedroom child in my informative years. Being a teenager, being a bedroom child was not as fun. I would have wanted to have my mom.
Well, the formative years is age 6.
Mm-hmm.
And I think once they hit 14, who they are is locked in.
Is
I
it?
saw a therapist say that who they are by 14 is locked in, and you can no longer save that child.
Well, by 14, I wasn't being saved. So by 14, I was living up the embodiment of what my mom said I was going to be, or what my mom said I was, and I was living that embodiment by accident. But I was proving a point. So maybe I was just spiteful.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe
you
I
were upset.
So maybe I was already made. I was just spiteful and wanted my revenge.
Yeah. So no right or wrong. Ultimately, there is no right or wrong approach. The most important thing is to find a balance that works for your family and allows everyone to feel comfortable and connected. You're never gonna find the right balance.
There's no such thing.
That is just me being honest as someone who's living it and not the technology telling me how it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because some days I'm like, damn, this is going good.
and then some days,
and then other days I'm like, what in the hell? Did I miss something?
Mm-hmm.
And I know life is supposed to have ebbs and flows and whatever have you, but like some days I'm just like, man, can I just go away somewhere and hide for a second? But then if I feel like that, I can only imagine how a child feels if they feel like their parent is not. And then, this different generation. Parents actually take the time to hear what children's feelings are. I grew up in a generation where children have feelings. Why?
So I don't have kids, right? So my thought process on this is I think that every child has feelings and every child's feelings every child's feelings matter.
Right. I don't know if I'll validate all of them.
Do they all? Right. I think the generation now that's growing up, they're all trying to break generational curses in their own way and matter, right? Mm-hmm. Because we all grew up, at least the ones that I know, we all grew up children being seen and not heard.
Mm-hmm.
So as we're now growing up, I do feel like there's such
hurt you.
What's happening? Oh, yeah. I feel like there's this very thin line that has been made of where a child is being a child and a child is being a friend. And as a mom, you have to walk this line of being a friend versus them being a child, right? And some parents now, they're leaning more towards their child's being a friend.
Where it should be friendly.
Right. And so now while you're listening to their feelings, while every child has feelings and their feelings do matter, you don't always have to listen to their feelings and make their point, make it seem, like you said, validated and that they're right in the situation or their feelings are what's going to lead the situation or be the forefront of this topic and make the decisions and whatever it is, right? So that fine line now is how they're also going to make a bedroom or a living room child because you have to start it in the earlier years, those formative years.
Yeah. And that's why I use the car as the space because sometimes at home, I'm sitting here, but I'm thinking about all the 50 million things that are going on in the household. So when you're telling me something, it's like, I don't have time for it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But we're in the car. There's nowhere else for us to go. I can turn the music up and we can jam, or I can turn the music down and you can talk.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, when you're talking, excuse me, you may not want my opinion. You just want to vent.
Mm-hmm.
The other day, from the time I left the studio to the time I got home.
20 minutes?
The 20-minute ride, she spoke the whole time.
The whole 20 minutes?
The whole 20 minutes. I did not say anything. And it took me time to get to that space because in the beginning, I would be like, but what is this? What is that? And almost like why didn't you think of this? Why didn't you think of that?
Because she's 12.
And then I realized I had to take a book from my therapist and just sit quietly.
Mm-hmm.
Because eventually she got quiet. And eventually she was like, well, I should have did this. Well, should I thought about it this way?
Mm-hmm.
And it gives you the introspection. She got the introspection she needed.
That's how they learn.
Right. Like yesterday, I took her with me. I said, hey, come do laundry with me. We weren't doing nothing but doing laundry, but she was telling me about her day. She was going about it. She was feeling something. She was, it was for her to be like, oh, now I have mom. And there was a
undivided time.
Right. And it shifted. Once her sister came and shifted, it was always she and I.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to go somewhere, guess who was in tow?
She was.
Right. But now it's, if I have to go somewhere, both of them are in tow. So sometimes she feels like there's a lack of attention towards her.
Mm-hmm.
And so every now and then, if I can give her that one-on-one time, I will. I'm not saying I'm the greatest at it.
It's
but when I recognize, hey, I have the opportunity to do it, let me do it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like how earlier today, where, he was like, you want to do something with them? I'm like, yeah, let's go do something with them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not often that both of us are available and can be present with them at the same time. So sometimes it's not necessarily the living room or the bedroom. It may be taking them to other spaces.
So now it sounds like while it's still the same idea of living room or bedroom, it's really the space that you create.
Mm-hmm. That's what I think too.
It's not necessarily a living room or bedroom. It's the spaces that you create or the person that you are that creates the spaces for them.
Right.
Because you can have a mom or a dad who don't create those spaces. So then they're going to be an individual who is alone. Whereas you have a mom or dad who's creating the spaces where we're going to bond as a family, and we're going to do family entity things.
Right.
So I agree with the trend, or the whatever reasoning language behind it, but the language should be different.
Right.
Because it's definitely, again, we talk about the studio. It's definitely just not a living room space. It's wherever the person is that creates the safe space.
Right. Because I played sports, but I definitely didn't have spaces held in that capacity.
You didn't have the space that I had, where I was in dance, and at the studio I could go to my teacher and be like, Miss So-and-so, I had a rough day.
Yeah.
Can I tell you about my day? Oh shit, that's what the kids do to me. Fucking shit. But I would walk away from my teachers, okay? I wouldn't stand and hover. But there was also no desk, so maybe I would have stood and hovered. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, it was, can I tell you about my day? And I vividly remember my teacher would stop, look at me. You've got 2 minutes before my class starts. Okay, go dance it out.
Yeah. And then for us, it was, we didn't get, I mean, not to say that we didn't hang out with the other kids in the cafeteria, my friend and I, but
you don't want to.
Mentally, we weren't in the same capacity as them. We were just like, that's just too much drama.
Mm-hmm. I understand. There was moments, I remember my high school experience. There were moments when my first year, I think I went to the cafeteria.
Mm-hmm. Where'd you go after that?
I made friends with older people who had cars, and we would drive and we would leave campus.
Yeah, that too.
Mm-hmm. Because I don't want to be there. The cafeteria wasn't my safe space.
Right. It wasn't mine either. Unless they were playing dominoes or spades. I wasn't in the cafeteria.
I went to a white school.
Oh. I feel sorry.
I love how you just fully understand. Like, there was none of that. Sorry. There was none of that in my school.
My school was, I think my year, side note, was the very, there's maybe two classes after us.
Okay.
But we were the trailing end of how diverse that the school was. The school is not as diverse as it is. We had every ethnicity, and every ethnicity hung out with every other ethnicity. And I can say that by like maybe 4 to 5 years after us, it wasn't that.
So my grade in my high school, there was 65 of us.
Well, that's small.
You know, I went to a small high school. There were 65 of us. Out of the 65, there was one Indian, one Asian.
And you fit in between everything.
4 Black people, and then me. I was the West Indian who did it all.
You were the West Indian who fell in between everything because it was the Asian, Indian,
Black,
white.
I'm Portuguese, so I'm white technically. I literally fit into all of them. So yeah, but out of the 65, an Asian, an Indian, 4 Black people. So 6. And me. So 7 diverse people. The rest of them were white. I love you all, right? I don't know if I love you all. I love the school. But yeah, there was no diversity. So we wasn't playing no space.
Yeah.
We wasn't playing no.
You could have with the 4 Black kids, but yes.
I don't think they knew how to play spades.
I need to check everyone's Black card.
So, I mean...
Caribbean card, dominoes, no?
So, I don't think they were Caribbean. I think one of them was Caribbean and that one could play dominoes. But again, for me, I didn't learn how to play spades until high school when I started sneaking out of my school. When I started sneaking out of my house to go hang out with Black people at parties. Because I went to predominantly white schools growing up. And then growing up, I was in predominantly white activities. I did tennis and I did golf and I did karate. Like, those are predominantly white things. I did some hockey for some time and ice skating. I literally did it all. So those are predominantly white things.
Fair enough.
I was in a white environment. My dance school, I was the one Black child.
Oh, wow.
In my grade. In my class.
Your level.
My level, I was the one Black child.
Okay.
So they all thought I was going to be great at hip-hop. I was not great at hip-hop.
It's a stereotype.
So, right. So I didn't learn until I decided to put myself in the environment, right? I don't know where I was going with this. I don't know where I started.
It's okay. I tried to because I'm in predominantly in urban area. I tried to see if I can put the girls in different activities that gave them the diversity that they're not getting in their school setting. In my school setting, I had the diversity. So that's why I was able to flip-flop between the songs.
You could code switch.
I could code switch very easily because I had friends from every walk, right?
Oh, I could easily code switch.
So initially with my little one, I put her in gymnastics. She was in where the gymnastics class, it was in the heart of a predominantly Portuguese speaking area. So she got kids that were white, kids that were Asian, kids that were black, all participating in these activities. And then in dance, because dance is so fluid, you guys had a good divert.
We did not.
In the other location?
We did not. We were black. Black.
Okay. Well, there's a nice diversity. There's a nice diversity, which they need, which is good for both sides.
Everyone needs it.
Yeah.
So thinking about those safe spaces again, you're going to be in those environments where it's not a safe space, right? And you need to be able to code switch, especially as little black girls, even little black men, right? But knowing from my experiences and my upbringing, as a little black girl, I need to know how to code switch, especially because I was never dark enough. I was never light enough. So I need to be able to be in every environment possible so that I could be in every environment and know what's going on.
Yeah.
And feel okay in each environment.
Yep. And step up in there and say, hey, you're not going to get one up on me because of that.
Exactly. So being in an environment where you feel safe and you have that safe environment where you can be around everyone and do anything and not feel like you're going to be judged, not feel like you're going to be hated on, not feel like someone's going to discriminate against you or call you a different name, right? But learning how to be around all walks of the world so that when you get in those uncomfortable environments,
you know how to handle yourself.
You know, you have something that you can tap back into to then feel comfortable with that in space and that environment. You find that one level of comfort.
Right. Yeah. And my sister and I, we tried to do that with our kids. Like we tried to do activities with them. We started teaching them how to, we were like, wait, we don't, especially during COVID, we were like, you guys should know these games. Scrabble. We did Sorry. We did Monopoly.
Why don't they know these? They have to know those games.
They didn't.
We grew up with those games.
Excuse me. Right. We were so busy, but now COVID gave us the opportunity to do this. So I would say that's the good thing that came out of COVID, right?
Boggle. Let's play Boggle. I don't know.
Jenga?
Yeah, but Boggle.
I don't know what Boggle is. We taught the kids spades, we taught the kids dominoes. So over the summer, it's like if I got back home early from, having a day of clients and my sister being who she is, because she enjoys cooking is her love language for people, right? After a good meal, we're like, let's get the dominoes out. Let's get the Unos out. We forced them into the interaction. They hate it, but guess what? These are the things that are going to come back. Like, remember when they forced us over the summer to do it? So yeah, we made them good room kids.
Are you going to be here on Thursday?
I can if you need me to.
We're going to play Boggle.
Okay.
She's going to play Boggle. I need to play Boggle.
Okay.
Okay, I'm listening.
So to wrap things up, if you can intentionally create the environment for the future kids that you may have.
You talking to me?
Yes.
And my future kids?
Yes. What environment would you prefer to foster?
A living room environment. And I want my living room environment to be in my house.
Okay. Oh, so you want to be the house? The house.
I would like to be the house.
Okay.
First off, Ibrahim already is trying to scheme to be the house.
Oh.
We don't got no fucking kids, but we're going to be the house.
Okay. So I'm Ibrahim, where I would be scheming to be the house, whereas my husband, he would be happily as a clam going into his room and closing the door.
Your husband wants to be the house.
No, he doesn't.
He does.
I promise you. Because he and I have had this argument plenty of times. So he prefers, he's like, if that's going to be the case, I'm going to go be in my room.
Which is fine. He can be in his room, but he still wants it to be his house. Just go to him one day, right? Tomorrow, today. I want to know the answer.
Maybe I'll take this snippet and give it to him. Like, what do you think?
Yes. What do you think? Go to him and just be like, hey, I know we go back and forth on this, right? about being the house or not being the house. But think about our little ones as they continue to get older. Would you rather they drink outside of our house or drink with us? Would you rather they get introduced to weed outside of the house or in this house? Would you rather they get introduced to sex outside of the house or in our house? Would they rather be introduced if they want to do same sex so they don't know what they want? Would you rather that in those feelings outside of the house or inside the house? Which one would you rather prefer? I guarantee he's going to say, oh.
I guarantee you he's going to say neither one should be happening.
But it's going to. You don't have an option. There is no neither one. There is no neither one because they will be introduced to drugs, sex, and alcohol, right? All three of them. They're going to get introduced. Where do you want it to happen?
I'm going to tell you where it's going to happen.
In my house, in your car.
It's not going to happen in the house. It's going to happen in the car with me.
It's going to happen in your car.
With me.
It needs to happen in your house.
I'm telling you right now. It's not going to happen in the car with him because she has her own separate conversations with him that I don't get involved in.
Really?
Yeah. So it's not going to happen with him in the car.
Okay.
It's not going to happen in the bedroom with me and her by ourselves. And maybe the continuation of a conversation from the car.
Okay.
It's going to happen in the car with me. Both of them. I can guarantee it, hands down. Because one, he'll feel uncomfortable having any sex conversation. And two,
really?
Any conversation outside of that, meaning the sex, drugs, and
alcohol. Sex, drugs, alcohol.
Yeah, sex, drugs, alcohol. They're going to come to me. They're not going to want to have because they already know he's going to be like, don't do it.
But it's going to happen. So I want safe space aside. It's going to happen, right? And I understand it's going to happen with my kids when I have children. That conversation is going to happen. Sex, drugs, and alcohol. I was introduced to alcohol in my house.
And that's the thing. I didn't do the Caribbean way of introducing it.
Oh, I'm glad they did. I'm so glad they did.
Now, every now and then, if she sneaks, it's like she wants to taste something.
Yeah.
If it's more sweet and no alcohol, yeah, like you can take a taste. But if it's something if it's something that has more of a heavy rum or whatever,
that was my house. Listen, first off, my dad gave me my first beer when I was little because Papa, what are you drinking? Beer. Can I have a sip? Sure. Hated it. That's why you don't drink.
Right.
Beautiful. As I got older and it was hanging out with a family party, they didn't know that I already had drink at this point. So at this point, I was like 17. I was definitely already drinking, hardcore drinking. My uncle comes to me. Psst, psst, psst. Take this shot of rum. You want me to take this? Just take it before your mother sees it. My mom walks by. What just happened? Nothing. My uncle was like, I gotta go this way. I said, yeah, I gotta go play a card game with yep. That's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. I love it. And your family should be your safe spaces.
Absolutely. So, I know I have both.
You do.
I have both. And I'm okay with that because when the one who's in the bedroom wants to talk to me, I have another safe space for that to happen. So, I think I'm okay. Even though every now and then, sometimes I may peep in and be like, hey, what are you watching? What are you doing? And the little one will go join the big one sometimes in the room. So it ends up being a bedroom, but they're both together. So even though they're in their independent spaces, they're still together.
That's how it should be, as siblings.
Yeah. Or sometimes on the same bed. But they're both in their own devices.
My brother hated me.
Yeah.
I could never sleep in his bed.
Oh.
So, side note, squirrel one more time. Me and my brother are close, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he had just recently shaved and I saw him on Sunday. So come here. So I was like, ooh. And it felt nice. I was like, ooh. So I was like, ooh. And I went back. And then when I went to go do it the second time, he licked my hand. He was disrespectful. But he's a safe space. That's okay with.
What are you guys raising? Let us know.
Are you the safe space, the person who creates the safe space?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Are you that person?
Let us know. See you next time, Wispy.
Hey, Wispies. Thanks for joining us for another hard-hitting girl talk. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe on your podcast listening platforms. See you next time, Wispies.